Hi guys, Alistair Taylor here, and today we're going to talk about how to stop topping the golf ball. So there's lots and lots of different things can happen during the golf swing, but I'm going to talk about three of the key issues probably that I see with guys, maybe what causes them to make that movement, and most importantly, if you do that, how to make that change to make sure you never ever top a shot again. So what you generally see with guys is that from a good setup position, and if you're struggling with things like ball position, you know, I've done videos on this on my other stuff, go and check those out, and there's lots of other good guys cover this kind of topic on YouTube. But once we're in a good setup position, the key to striking the golf ball well is to make sure we get the bottom of the golf swing in the correct place. So, if I use this hoop as an example, when I set up to the golf ball and make my correct golf swing, the bottom of the swing, by impact, should be just slightly in front of the golf ball, which will give me that slight descending blow to collect ball and then ground. Now, the issue I see is that it depends a little bit on what the guys are looking to do. So my first one that I see with a lot of guys is they're so focused on actually getting the golf ball in the air that actually what they do is from a decent setup position, they actually move the bottom of the swing back. So as they swing down into impact, the bottom of the swing's back behind the ball and all the weight stays onto that back foot, kind of feeling that they can get underneath the golf ball. Now the big issue with that is if they actually manage to find the ground at the bottom of the swing, they hit way behind the golf ball. Massive divot, and very often the divot can go further than the golf ball. I think once they've done that a couple of times though, the brain works out it doesn't like that feeling. So even though they hang all the way on that back foot with the weight, the bottom of the swing's back here, and by the time they get back to the golf ball, the club's travelled up so much that it hits the top of the golf ball and the ball rolls along the floor. The problem I see with that is guys still genuinely think then that they need to work harder and harder to get the ball in the air. I think from that position, that then takes me on to the second issue I see, where guys are told that they need to hit down onto the golf ball. Which is true, we obviously need that slight descending blow. But that in itself can create an issue. Because, like I've said, if we make a normal, good swing, and again, what is normal? But your normal swing, we would see ball then turf. But also from this angle, we would see that the path the club travels on is quite neutral. Now for me, as guys try and hit down more and more, it actually makes them swing more down and to the left. And the issue that can create is that does move the bottom of the swing forward, but can move the bottom of the swing a long way forward. So actually as we get into the golf ball, that can create them actually hitting the top of the golf ball and then swinging through. So even though they've just gone from feeling they were getting underneath the golf ball, which they've been told is wrong, to hitting down onto the golf ball, it becomes too exaggerated and then they get punished with the result. Unfortunately, with video cameras nowadays, most guys get videoed and then somebody will point out that they're coming over the top, swinging too far to the left, so they need to swing more from the inside. Again, we could argue that part of that is true. Again, this can create a big issue because if we go from this way, when the bottom of the swing's too far in front, if we now keep that ball position the same and come way from the inside, now the bottom of the swing suddenly moves way behind the ball again. So it's tough. You know, it is challenging and try to find that kind of little bit of balance in your golf swing. So I'm going to give you a few little drills here just based on which of those you think you are. Now, if you're not sure which one you are, you can't always read off divots, but if you're hitting way behind the ball, you should be able to feel if your weight's staying on your back foot. If it is, you'll be the first one we spoke about. If the divot's way in front of the golf ball and you're topping it, obviously too far forward. And if it's too far back, you may see that the divot's a long way to the right. Divot should be, if it's behind the ball, to the right, because the club will be traveling that way. And if it's in front, it could be traveling left anyway. So don't necessarily read too much into divots. But what I do want you guys to feel is if you're somebody who, as they swing, kind of hangs back to help the ball up, or somebody who swings way from the inside, again creating that back, let's try hitting some shots with the ball further forward. Now what that's going to create for you is keep the club in its normal position. It's going to make you swing maybe a little bit steeper, but it's going to transfer the weight onto that front leg to get that strike and get ball and then ground. If you're somebody who swings way to the left and hits the top of it, let's try the opposite. Let's move the ball back. Let's get that back there. And if we swing on our normal path and steepness, we'll miss the ball altogether. So that should make us swing more from the inside and collect the ball. But the key is we're looking to find a consistent bottom of the swing so that we can strike the ball correctly. So guys, hopefully you found those little tips helpful, and hopefully it's going to mean you're never going to top the ball again. It will mean you just try to find out which one of those three you tend to do when you top the shot. Like I said, there are other things, and I will cover other things in different videos, but I think that's a massive thing, and particularly with guys new to the game, I think the thing about trying to help the ball in the air, I see the ball, you know, the weight really staying back a lot with guys, but see which one of those three you are, and then try moving the ball position around a little bit. It's not about necessarily having a perfect ball position to begin with. It's about having something effective that helps you create the bottom of the arc in the right place so that you can strike the ball consistently and never ever top the ball again. So guys, thank you for taking the time to watch the video. Do appreciate it. Leave any comments below for me. Let me know if there's anything you'd like me to cover, anything you might be struggling with your game. Are there any clubs coming out? I mean, it might be dependent when you're watching this. Are there any clubs coming out that you'd like me to test? I do try and get back to everyone who leaves a comment. It might not be straight away, but I will take the time to get back to you. Hopefully see some of you guys down here in the future. Stay in contact.